Foundation Season 3 has been officially greenlit. This comes from the folks over at Coming Soon who write the following. Foundation has been renewed for Season 3 at Apple TV Plus, confirming the return of the sci-fi drama adapted from Isaac Asimov's seminal work. We have all been incredibly impressed with the ambitious, action-packed, and imaginative adaptation that David and the rest of his gifted creative team and cast have brought to life with this premium sci-fi series from day one, shared Matt Chersness, head of programming for Apple TV Plus, in a statement. This is just kind of, to me, the next chapter in what is the evolving story of Apple TV Plus. Because I've mentioned this before, but to lay it bare, I thought Apple was getting into something they had no business getting into. And when they did that big, it was about 3 or 4 years ago, they did that big presentation day where they talked about Apple TV Plus, our own network. Here are the shows we're going to be rolling out with. It was one of the most boring, badly put together, entertainment announcement days ever. None of it impressed me. And I was very skeptical. But you could make a very valid argument today with the likes of, this with Foundation, with the likes of For All Mankind, Severance. With the likes of Severance, with the likes of Shrinking,
Ted Lasso.
with the likes of Ted Lasso, and on and on and on, you might be able to make an argument that very quickly Apple TV Plus might be the best streaming service out there.
For the price, 100% that's correct.
Yeah, on a value, look, they don't got the library the size of a Netflix or a Disney Plus, but I'm telling you what, I don't know if there's anybody's overall package of original content that they don't match up well against. And specifically, they might be the best thing in the world right now for sci-fi content.
Didn't they do Silo too?
Yeah.
They also did Silo,
Wow.
which was really good. I mean, they have been knocking it out of the park with this stuff. And I'll tell you what, as far as Foundation goes, I was instantly taken with it. I still am. To me, the whole concept, I've talked about this, about Empire, brother dawn, brother day, brother night, and for one day, every 15 or 20 years, a brother dusk. And how they just rotate through. And what do they call it? The genetic dynasty, I think is what they refer to it as. And Lee Pace in this movie, or this show, I should say, is absolutely phenomenal. I thought I was a little bit worried about a sophomore slump going into season 2. I was afraid season 2 would drop off. And I'll say this, I didn't quite like it as much as season 1, but I still thought it was very strong. And I loved hearing this was happening now. Some of you might say, John, with the show being as good as it is, why did you have any doubts that maybe it'll be renewed? Well, because Apple TV Plus is still a very young network. And we've seen another network, Netflix, that has gotten into the habit of, we'll make some great shows and then cancel them suddenly in the middle of the night, right? Whole bunch of people, I was just reading this morning, a whole bunch of people very pissed off at Netflix that Bone and
Shadows and Bone?
Shadows and Bone. Yeah, not Bone and Butt. That's a totally different thing.
Wow.
That follows Sex Court TV. Shadow and Bone got canceled. And some people thought it was like one of the best things they had on there. And I was wondering, now that Apple TV's been around for a bit, are we going to get into these? Oh yeah, third season? Yeah, that's where the salary demands got a lot higher and people want new contracts and it's more trouble than it's worth and we're just going to cancel and move on. So I was very relieved and happy to see we're getting a season 3. Guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Quip. Good health starts with good habits, and Quip makes forming good dental habits easy by delivering all of the oral care essentials that you need to care for your mouth. I've already told you guys about their incredible toothbrush that is now my favorite toothbrush I've ever owned, and their mints and gum are amazing. But now I want to tell you about their water flosser. It hits all the right spots with gentle or deep cleaning pressure at the touch of a button. And don't worry about recharging. The cordless rechargeable battery lasts up to 8 weeks with daily use, no bulky charger charger or dock or tangled cords. It blasts away up to 99.9% of plaque and popcorn from treated areas with precision thanks to the 360-degree rotating magnetic floss tip that snaps right into place. It's easy to control water flow that leaves you feeling squeaky clean. And the sleek and slim design, it keeps your countertops as clean as your teeth. So guys, if you go to getquip.com/Campea right now, you'll get 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, and water flosser. That's 20% off any electric toothbrush, mint and gum dispenser, water flosser at getquip.com/Campea. Spelt GETQUIP.com/Campea. Quip, the good habits company. Anyway, Rob, what's been your thoughts on Foundation so far? What are your thoughts on it getting renewed for a season 3? How are you feeling about that?
Well, I really liked season 2. I thought, I maybe even more than season 1, I thought it kicked it into high gear, made some really interesting choices. I thought the show is, I mean, it's in terms of highbrow sci-fi, it's not Asimov's novels, but they're doing some really interesting things, and I think it's quite good. And one of the great things about Apple, as much as I love For All Mankind, I was worried it would get past season 1. And now we're about to have the 5th episode of the middle episode of right in the middle of season 4, and they seem to be really high on that show. The great thing about Apple is, because they have all the money in the world, because that's not their primary business, making TV and making movies, that if they like something, like we hear the heads of Apple like these shows, they can just keep them on. And they're building up a portfolio of really excellent, especially speculative fiction. I would throw Severance into vaguely a sci-fi show.
Sure,
so
yeah.
Severance, Silo, this, For All Mankind, and who knows what else they're going to, even Finch, the Tom Hanks post-apocalyptic movie.
Yeah, I didn't love that.
I didn't love it, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it aspired to do something, and you had Tom Hanks in it. And it's not Bird Box, the Blackbird, the prison with Taron Egerton. That
Blackbird?
Blackbird. That was great.
Yeah.
I love that too. So they're quietly developing a really great portfolio of beautifully produced shows that I'm quite enjoying. But Foundation, the fact that we're getting literary-minded science fiction, Silo is based on a book series, Foundation is based on a book series. I love seeing this because no one else is doing it.
This kid stole my look.
You know what else they're doing that is rare amongst the streamers right now? They seem right now, at any rate, to be committed to giving shows a chance.
Yes.
Case in point, Invasion.
Yeah.
That
Give it a
show
chance,
sucks.
baby.
That show sucks in my
Season 2,
opinion.
baby.
But you know what? And a lot of people grumbled about it, said it's boring, whatever. But you know what Apple said? They said, you know what, though? We want to give this show a chance to develop. And let's see what happens if we let it go into a season 2, right? And one thing I do want to point out, because I see some people in the live chat saying it as well. I know I do this too. We just think Apple has all the money in the world. And they do have all the money in the world. They're the most, profitable, most valuable company on the planet. But that doesn't mean each division they run has all the money in the world.
Right.
When they set up a division like this, that division has its own responsibilities and they have their own budget. And the main company isn't just going to keep throwing money at it. That division has to prove that they can become profitable on their own. And I think the job they've done by, number one, not going too hard and trying to produce, like Disney Plus's approach, for every one premium piece of content, and by premium piece of content, I'll mean a Star Wars show, an MCU show, they were also cranking out like 6 or 7 diddly pieces of crap that nobody really wanted to see. I remember the girl who played Angela in The Office. She had her own Disney-themed cooking competition show on it, right?
All right.
Which, by the way, I kind of liked. But I mean, they would put out like a whole bunch of these little things. Apple doesn't seem to have that approach. They just seem to have, no, we will only put up stuff that we believe has the potential to be extremely high quality.
I think
they've gone with a quality, not a quantity.
I think
approach.
their idea is right on. I think they're trying to compete with the HBO kind of market.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like Netflix. They don't seem to be acting like Netflix is
Right.
their competitor. They're acting like HBO's their competitor.
Yep.
I also think, John, as much as I would joke that I always forget Invasion, another science fiction show that had the most boring alien invasion I'd ever seen.
You shut your mouth.
But I know you said season 2 is good, but here's the thing I would say to that. What I really like about what Apple seems to be doing is they're putting the creator first. They're making shows that have a a showrunner's vision behind them.
Yeah.
Now, I might not have loved Invasion, but I watched it all, and it was but it was done. You could see the people that were behind making it. They knew what they were making, and they had a plan, and they had a structure. And I can't expect everything to be 100% effective, but as long as I know that the people that are making the shows have a vision behind them, I'll watch it. As opposed to some of the Marvel shows, I haven't felt that there was that vision behind the camera.
Yeah, I will say I haven't seen Invasion yet, but
You're not missing anything.
They took but they did take like a Sixth Sense approach in that with Sixth Sense, each movie was an act, so it's risky. So Sixth Sense was the first act, and then the next movie that came out years later was the second and the third act.
You mean Unbreakable?
You mean Unbreakable?
Unbreakable, yeah, not Sixth Sense. Unbreakable.
I was like,
yeah. And so like from what they're explaining, the first season of Invasion was that first act.
right.
The second season is the second act, so it's the rising action, and you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
it's
which
risky.
again, the vision. The
Yeah.
vision.
It's
Was that
risky.
right?
I'm just telling you, like out of all the streaming services, in terms of new, Apple I think has got the game wrapped right now. Just because I've watched so many first episodes on Apple TV Plus because I was actually interested in see like
Yeah.
a lot of the premises of their shows are great. Like even Big Door Prize, you know that show is kind of sci-fi-ish where there's a little machine in a liquor store, and they see what they're gonna turn out to be.
That was good. I like that show.
And then there's also that show where they were selling real estate on the moon. That sci-fi
Yep.
show.
Yep.
There's some great like ideas that they're throwing out
Yeah,
there.
they seem to be very willing to step out there, try something. Don't do it until you've got the scripts and everything down perfect, and they swing for the fences. And so far, they've been having some pretty good results.
And Tetris was really good too.
Oh yeah, and some of their individual stuff has been really sharp. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, Foundation. Greenlit for season 3. Well done on Apple. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.